Nice film, Roland. I just really appreciate this film. I want to see people do their best work, rise to the material, those kinds of things. But you have really good lineage on this film. Caleb Dashnell.
Yeah. No,
and people
great
working.
people.
Did you end up with the film you set out to make?
Yeah, pretty exactly the movie I wanted. Actually, I have to say it like this. I read a script, and the moment I closed that script, I knew I have to do this movie, and I was on a mission. And I knew this is not easy because these movies are expensive. And I had immediately kind of my first telephone call with Dean, who loved the script too. I said like, "Oh, it's Mel Gibson, right?" And normally we're like kind of not like kind of people who are saying like kind of we need a movie star to kind of make a movie, but like in that special case, he was the perfect actor for it. So we like got this great cast together, like kind of led by Mel, and then we got like probably because also of the script, all these great people, working on the movie, like DP, production designer, costume designer, and it was really a joy working with all these people and doing this movie.
You have to make decisions when you make a movie that I would imagine are sometimes difficult. Yeah, decisions that have to do with whether the violence in the film, whether to go forward or pull back, and how all that works. But you also have to be true to your material, because the Revolutionary War was very violent.
Oh yeah, I mean like kind of the whole decision, how to kind of deal with violence was a difficult one. I mean, I'm like kind of not a guy who likes much like violence in movies. But then on the other hand, I read all these accounts and I kind of said, okay, how we deal with it. And actually the script gave me a little bit an idea, like kind of dramatically how to deal with it. He has this like kind of in the original script was this one scene where he kind of rescues Gabriel, his son, and I knew the people will cheer because they want him to rescue his kid. They want, to kill all of them because they killed his other son. So now, like the people cheering, and then this man, goes after the last red coat and hacks him to pieces, and his kind of kids are watching. This is like kind of the people feel immediately guilty that they just cheered before, because all of a sudden this all turns into something totally different, and the lead character is like kind of defined at that moment. And I think I wanted to do this with all the parts in the when anything like really brutal happens, I always cut to people disgusted or had to look away. It has nothing, of this violence, where like kind of like you see something violent happening. Yeah, it was more like the people are shocked by what happens around them.
Well, you have another layer and another level there. Because I'm worried about everybody that cheers violence all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the people doing it and worried about the people that cheer all the time.
Yeah, it's also like, I think like kind of my dad was like in World War II, and I kind of always had this feeling with him that like kind of he when he described like war, it was always like kind of never like heroism or anything like this. It was like kind of pure survival. It was all about. He said that it was 5 years in his life where he was every day like kind of afraid to get killed. That's what all he remembers. There was not much heroism.
And there's a loneliness to that, and there's a sadness to that.
And there's a sadness also to that. Like kind of a lot of people like lose their youth over it, and they never can be young again. They never can be innocent again. I mean, my dad said like it stole my youth. I never was the same person again.
When you said Mel Gibson was the right one to play this one, I assume you're saying that not because he's a movie star, but because he's a really good actor. And there's not that I think the list to play this part is probably pretty short.
Yeah, it's very short. It's like kind of, what? It's like kind of the range. I mean, there's like a character who, on the one hand, like feels so guilty about, like kind of what he has done, and carries this guilt with him. And we didn't want to kind of express this from the get-go, in the film too much, and only later kind of reveal it as a mystery. So it was always like had to be imminent in his acting, and that's like kind of ask for a very good actor.